So well said, Stuart. And it's so interesting. I was on with an advisor yesterday, and I meet with some of the accountant partners that they have. And sure enough, the accountant doesn't show up. So we're just kind of waiting there, and he ends up giving the accountant a call. Hey, we have this meeting scheduled with Jenna. Where are you? And he goes from, oh, I'm just, spending some time with my family. I'm driving my kids to, I don't want to work with you anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm not into it, or whatever the case is. Come to find out that that accountant, exactly what you identified, maybe a few hundred clients, if that, 500 bucks a client, not, maybe a couple of high net worth individuals, but really not doing any of that proactive work. And it was so easy for me to say to that advisor, he wasn't a good fit anyway, doesn't have the desire, doesn't have the clients, and doesn't want to make that change. He has to have that Jerry Maguire moment of, this isn't what I want to do anymore. Cigarettes kill me. So that's the first thing. And I also say too that so many accountants are actually providing some of that proactive work that their clients think that they're doing. So they might be, providing one or two items here, or giving them a call when they see a strategy that might make sense for them, but are they doing it in a repeatable, predictable, scalable way? That's the question, right? So do you have a process? Is there a way that you can plug into a system where you can identify the needs of your clients, prioritize those needs? So actually ask them, what's important to you? So you may.
Yeah, I have a client that was paid in Rolex watches, not Chicago. So, you know,
Wow, okay.
she had to monetize her Rolex watches. And of course, I was the first call, which was fantastic because
There you go.
they had no idea how to monetize Rolex watches, but I have somebody in my network who I think could, or multiple people who could help me.
Yeah.
The whole discussion about CPAs, it reminded me of a kind of a stupid, maybe semi-dad joke was, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Well, it only takes one, but the light bulb has to want to change. So that's what you need. You need a CPA that.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, sir, because I do think it is so much more than that. And what I really think that we do is allow advisors to come in who really do have that desire to make a change. So Paul Latham will talk about the three ingredients of business success. It's vision, it's plan, it's desire. And we can help you with your vision, and we can certainly give you a plan like the training, but you have to have the desire to make the change. We don't have some magic bullet. We're not selling leads. We're not a referral program. We don't come in and say, hey, do this dinner seminar and you'll end up with, a bunch of new clients. What we do at Elite is really empower the advisors that we work with to leverage not only our virtual family office, but the CPA partners that they can leverage as well to really do what we have been talking about: increase client value, grow revenues, grow profits, but also have some career fulfillment along the way. We want to make sure that you're actually not just going back to the grind and feeling like you're doing some of those outdated referral model, that work that doesn't fulfill anyone, I don't think, when it comes to our industry. So we really think that we operate in not your traditional blue ocean, because I think that even is becoming more and more popular when you start to think about the phrase of the comparison of the red ocean to the blue ocean, right? So red ocean, super competitive. You don't feel like there's anything that's really making you different. Whereas what we think at Elite is that we operate in this blue ocean, which is really where there is no competition. And why is that? And I think it has to do with three things. So the coaching, as we mentioned, so the training, our systems and processes. So we have,
Say, used car salesman, financial advisor. That's where.
yeah, exactly. And I think I would never say that about the advisors that we work with in our community. And you know them so well as I do too. And they're wonderful people, but they work together. Even the advisors themselves, when we're, in our communities, you're constantly reaching out to other professionals to say, hey, what can I do for this client? They have a need. Can you help? Can the expert help? Can my accountant help? And all that does is, and I think the best way to put it for those who are listening who may need to just kind of catch up to what we're talking about, is if you went to your ENT with a heart problem, they're not going to perform heart surgery for you. They're going to call that heart surgeon that they know can do the best work.
Yeah, it's a vastly different culture. When I first got into this business, it was a scarcity mindset, right? Everybody was in competition with each other. I did my training in New York. That was brutal. I've got a gazillion different examples about how it was just all head to head against each other, even internally. And the call I was just on before, I was on with 3, 4 other advisors where not too long ago, I would have considered each one of them a competitor, but we were working collaboratively on the behalf of the client where we were talking about what's the best outcome, best situation for that client. And as you said, the client wins 1,000.
The mindset. And I think so many of our advisors come more.
I've seen it play out. So, you know, we've danced around a little bit of this virtual family office, and you started to define.
So the family office started years and years ago. I think Rockefeller was the first person to create it, and really was for ultra high net worth families, for someone to come in and just manage that particular family's assets, everything of their financial universe. What we've come to find out is what typical clients and our best clients are really looking for is that same concept, but don't really have the deep pockets to afford something like that for their families themselves or for them individually or their business. So the concept of the virtual family office, I think, is widely growing. And I think we have really been at the forefront of that, which has just been so incredible to see the evolution. Years ago, we sort of had names on a sheet with phone numbers and things like that of just, hey, you could go to this person or that person, which is great. But the more we've kind of adapted into this virtual world, the more that we've seen that there was so much opportunity across the nation to really start to see who are our advisors working with. So we had kind of our experts that we had been using for years, but the more and more we started to adapt to fusion advisors like you, Stuart, or people like higher members of our community said, actually, I've got a guy, or I have someone that I work with locally, or this is someone that I've heard of that is really great. We go through and we vet them, and we've come up with, as I said, about 70 plus experts, best in breed, all over the country in 5 different disciplines, which is going to be tax, risk mitigation.
My clients are not the Rockefellers of the world.
Right.
They are, you know, usually millionaires or the millionaire next door or a little bit more.